This album's pretty much been in my arsenal since the day it dropped. I remember seeing them in their first Canadian show, their second show ever. Buried Alive was fast, punishing, metallic hardcore. Buried Alive played their first live shows in early 1998. There is no doubt Scott Vogel's history in bands like Despair and Slugfest played a role in their meteoric rise, but Buried Alive could definitely stand on their own without that pedigree. Scott Vogel later confirmed that The Death of Your Perfect World was dedicated to vegans and vegetarians. And in the same interview, he discussed how Buried Alive, much like Despair, also addressed religion in a confrontational way. The record itself is a self-contained ass-kicking machine that reliably induces moshing in even the weakest of subjects. At the simplest level, this album is metallic hardcore with a strong late 90s metalcore accent. You definitely have thrashy riffs, palm-muted chugs, some pretty hard mosh parts, and these raw vocals that Scott Vogel has become known for. This is far from generic mosh metal that sounds like breakdowns on loop. Vocally, Vogel is a huge part of the album's identity. There's also a strong ethical and ideological layer. The lyrical themes here are very different from Vogel's later themes in Terror. In interviews, he has drawn a distinction between Buried Alive's darkness and the tone that he took with Terror. And this album is not trying to lift you up after dragging you through the dirt. It's mostly content leaving you there. Buried Alive felt like a band that was breathing energy and a new life into the scene. And at the time, Buried Alive toured with a surprisingly wide range of bands, including 7 Seconds, Hot Water Music, and All Out War. And that helps explain why they're remembered as more than just another mosh band. Some later listeners specifically identify Buried Alive, not Terror or Despair, as Scott Vogel's heaviest or best band. Which says a lot about how singular this era of his writing and delivery is felt. Like them or not, The Death of Your Perfect World matters because it captures that late 90s metallic hardcore at its most stripped down and hateful, right before the style hardened into a formula. Buried Alive took Buffalo hardcore roots, Scott Vogel's confrontational writing, and Steve Evetts' sharp production, then turned it into a 26-minute record that still feels vicious. It was never a mainstream breakthrough, nor was it meant to be. But inside of hardcore, it became one of those records people keep dragging back into the conversation. And even now, it sounds just as angry and pissed off. So I'm curious, what metallic hardcore band is your go-to? And who would you drive all day to go see?